Welcome to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage, and today we're going to be having a look at Algorand. Let's get into the video and see what's going on. Okay, so the last time we were looking at this, we're still looking for this potential of this bigger C wave to the upside. The structure, though, with Algo worries me, and I'm going to go through some of the bearish scenarios and why, and the fact that we could have actually completed a fourth wave into this high, and we could be looking, for this fifth wave down towards this 1378 to this 1085 area. So we're going to discuss a couple of things within the video, but we do need to just have this in the back of our mind that there is a bearish count here, and what I was looking for was the potential that we could have an A, a B, and then looking for the C wave to the upside here. This could also become a bigger impulse if we do manage to move up to this 39.97 range, but we do not have confirmation of this. And the way the structure is forming here, potentially it could be forming some ones and twos within here, which we're going to go over. But we just need to be very careful here because there is it's not really reacting the way that I had anticipated it was going to if we were looking at this bullish count, but this still could be developing. So we will discuss what we would like to see happen there. What we just do you need to be mindful of is the fact we could still see this sell off to the downside. Okay, so let's get into that count. Basically, what we'd be looking for is the potential of breaking to the upside here. So what we'd be looking for then is effectively something like this to play out, where we're looking at this as a 1, 2, and then potentially another 1, 2. The problem I have with this count is this has gone very sideways here. So it is possible we could argue, no, that this is W, X, and Y, and it is also possible that it might need one more low here if this is the case, which would look something like this, where we could see this as a W, an X, and a Y, where we actually still need to come down one more time for an ABC. So if we do manage to hold this support zone here of this 21.67 to this 20 cent 44, potentially we could still look for this move to start to break away from here. There is a potential way of counting it within this move that it started from over here, and we'd have to treat this as a diagonal. So this in itself makes the move less reliable if we have to count this as a beginning of a wave with a diagonal. But really the pivot point here of where this starts to become, really unlikely is if we start to lose this 20 cent 44. And we did actually break out of this channel that we've been sitting in, but we have moved back into it. What I don't want to see here is to get a rejection out of this, come back and retest it, something like this, come back down out of this, retest this, and then look to break down deeper and fall back, you know, down into some of these lower ranges, because that becomes less likely to see this continuation to the upside if that does happen. So this is something that can still play out. We could potentially still see a move down towards this 20 cent 81. That's for as long as we don't cross this high of this 22.39. If we do start to move above that, then it becomes more likely, that we are um, either still within the X wave or we could be starting the bullish move. So the bullish move would look something like this. So let's get that out the way now. Basically, the way I would be looking at this, if we want to treat this as a developing bullish move here, we'd have to argue that we had one in here. This is two, and now we're looking to form another 1 and a 2. And then basically the target range would be looking for confirmation of this is up here at this 24 cents. So it would be taking this high. So the good thing about this is if we do take this high, basically it invalidates some of the bearish counts that I'm going to show you, where we could look at this as a 1 and a 2. But really, we need to get back above this, and we need to start to break, particularly above the 22.39 and this high here of this 24 cent. Until we actually do that, we need to be careful here of this move breaking down. So I'm going to come into the 1 hourly now, and we're going to discuss this move here. So what I'd be looking for here is the potential that we have a 1 2 and another 1 2 here. So what we want to see here for continuation to the upside is this fourth wave area holding, which is between this 21.87 and this 21.68. Maintaining this would make me look for this higher fifth wave up here towards this 22.21 to this 22.11. At the moment, however, we just have a three-wave move here, and we could potentially count this as just a three-wave move like this, in which case we have to be careful that this doesn't develop into either an A, a B, and then we get a deeper C wave, or a 1, 2, and a deeper third wave, which would indicate much lower prices, as an impulse would look to push us much deeper. So the 1618 here would be this 222 22. So basically, this is going to be the key zone I want to see us cross for us to continue looking at this bullish count. It is possible that we could see something like this where we come back down and find support again above these highs. But if we start to break down, below these lows again, it starts to become less likely that this is playing out because of the fact that you'd have to then try and count this whole move to the upside as a five-wave move, but we don't have anything that is relative to this move here yet. So what I'd like to see is basically this move to stay above this 2162 and see a three-wave move down here, followed by that fifth wave to the upside. And then from there, if we do cross this 2222, we'd be looking for an additional fourth and a fifth. From that point, unless we directly look to push up in a more impulsive way and this extends out, what we'd have to be on the lookout for is a move like this, a three-wave move back to the downside towards this 2174 to this 2139. If we do get something like this, basically this could lead us into a bigger push to the upside. This 2407 would be the target area we're looking for this to be confirmed as a bigger third wave, but we only really get confirmation once we find the support of this fourth wave and we move up in the fifth. So once we would do something like that, then basically within the structure here, potentially we could have another one and a two. The key thing here is we do have to move substantially higher for confirmation of these moves. So really we need to break above this 2854 and then get an additional fourth and a fifth. And ideally that move would look to actually push up towards this 32-cent range, taking out some of these highs here and getting rid of that bearish potential. So what happens if this falls apart? So if we do fall apart here and we lose this 2044, it becomes more likely we actually have just completed a corrective structure here, either as an ABC or alternatively, this whole thing could be a triangle, and we're going to discuss that now. So basically, within the structure here, what we need to be aware of is there are multiple different ways of looking at these moves, and because of that fact, we have to be open to a few things within this. And one thing that I did discuss in the previous videos, because we were talking about the potential of this being a fourth wave, I was looking at the potential that we could have one, two, three, and we are looking for a fourth wave here and a fifth. Now we wrote this off because we came up above this wave one, but if we look at this as a triangle, currently you could argue that this would be our A wave, B wave, C wave, D wave, and this could actually be an E wave high. If this is the case, what I want to see here is whether we actually start to reject to the downside quite violently. If we do, what I would be looking for as a target potentially would be this zone of this 1691 to this 1550, and this would be looking to actually push down into this zone as a five-wave move. And this could potentially even look to take this low here of this 1598. So this is why we need to be careful. So what would it look like if we were going to get a move like this play out? So we're going to discuss that now. So within this, what we would be looking for, it would be something like this to play out. And I'm just going to, there we go. So as long as we fail to actually take this high of this 2236, potentially what we could have here is a 1, 2, because at the moment all we have is three-wave structure, so we don't have a five-wave structure. If we get a fourth wave and a fifth wave, then we have five-wave structure, and we'd be looking for that three-wave move down, holding these lows. At the moment, all we have is three-wave structure. These can always develop, like I said, and we could look to push up and take this high. Once we take this high, this invalidates this potential as we are looking at it, but we would still have to be on the lookout that this could be an A, a B, and a C, and then that could be our triangle D wave, where this becomes C wave, C, D, and E, and we still move just within this range, failing to take the highs of this 24 and failing to break the lows of this 20 cent 69. So this is what we are looking at here. Basically, if however this is going to start breaking down, what I would be looking for is if we have a drop towards this 2017, what we could have is a 5-wave move here, as we've got shown. If that's the case, we need to be on the lookout for a 3-wave move back up, failing to take this high again. This would be a typical rejection zone here, this 2181 to this 2110, and we could actually see this start to develop as a bigger drop to the downside, looking for these lower targets. So obviously this is not confirmed yet. We don't have confirmation of this, but this is one of the possibilities, and this could look to bring us down into that bigger fifth wave area here towards this 1691 to this 1550. And if we do get a 5-wave move down like this, it makes the possibility of having this first part of the move as a beginning of a bigger structure. Well, it makes it impossible because we would have a 5-wave move down. If we were looking to reverse, then it would be from this point here. Alternatively, if this does look to push down to the bigger fifth wave target, we could actually push down as deep as this 1378 to this 1085. So this is something we need to be aware of. There is still that potential of a drop down here. We also discussed this. Now, this is another way of looking at a bearish count here. And this could be that rather we have something like this 1 2 1 2, and this would indicate a much deeper move. This would potentially give us a move which looks to push us down towards this 0861 to this 0731, obviously depending on how the waves actually form within the structure. So within this, it's the same kind of idea. What we'd be looking for on this, though, would be that we'd rather look at this potentially as a wave 2 here, and then we would look for this as a potential wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So the confirmation would come here at this 1836. If we get pushed down to these zones, what we would be looking for then is basically something like this again, to see whether we get additional fifth wave like this. If we fail to develop this and we have a 5-wave move down, which then comes back up into that support box we discussed, then we could be looking for that as 1 and 2. So it's going to be important we monitor the structure if this does play out. Obviously, we haven't broken any of these supports yet. We need to be on the lookout for this possibility of a break to the upside because it is still possible. So with that said, we need to continue to hold these key zones. This is going to be key for us to look for bullish continuation, this 2115 area. If we fail to hold that, potentially we could be looking to find support slightly lower down here at within this 2044 area. But really, once you start to break down below this, it starts to become very unlikely that we are going to see this continuation to the upside. And it makes far more sense that this is then just a corrective structure. So just be careful with this. It could potentially look to have a very nice strong move to the upside, but it hasn't proven itself yet. And the structure, particularly this piece here, is very choppy and complicated. Like we said, you can still see this 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 4 5 play out, which looks to take us up here, but it needs to prove itself. If that's the case, we have no business going back below these lows here. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description, you'll find a link to Discord. Come check it out. It's free to join. As well as that, there are affiliate links for both PrimeXBT and BYBIT down there, both great exchanges that we use on a regular basis. If you do not have an account, using the affiliate link does help support the channel, and we do appreciate it. Everyone have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Take